All right, co-counsel. Shout out to the replay crew. It's been a minute since I've been up here on a Saturday, but listen, Nicholas Kassotis has a chokehold on me. Like, this case has so many twists, turns. I need to be on top of it. I am watching parts of Friday's testimony because I only watched part, or at least I tried to, while I was at work, and I've missed out on so much because Kelly and I were communicating back and forth today, and baby, there's a lot that I need to catch up on. So my real interest, let's see how much I only have like 2 hours and then I have to go to bed because I have things to do and I'm parenting. But let's see if we can get through the third wife's testimony. Okay, it's my understanding a friend testified. It's also my understanding that Nick Kassotis was interviewed. Callie told me a bit about his interrogation tapes or his admissions, his statements. Uh, I don't know that we can get through that tonight, but I'm gonna have to watch them tomorrow. Okay. All right. Let's get into this. This is like an hour later than I'd initially planned, but I'm parenting. I'm parenting. I have things to do. Let's get into it. Am I sharing? Yep, I'm sharing my screen. Let's get into this.
Yes.
Please have a seat.
What's the name?
And you see that microphone there?
Testimony. Good morning.
Good morning. If you would, please raise your right hand and face the clerk, please.
Yeah.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes.
Please have a seat. And you see that microphone there?
Yes.
If you would try to sit close to that so
Yes.
we can hear you.
All right, who's back here? They're looking at each other.
Close to that so
They're looking at each other like, look at this shit.
Yes.
if you would try to sit close to that so
Yes.
we can hear you.
Yeah, I like her outfit back there.
We can hear you.
Okay. Doing my hair.
Ma'am, can you please tell the court reporter your full name and how you spell it?
Yes, my full name is Samantha Kolyasnik. Should I spell my first name too? Spell my first name Samantha. Last name is Kole.
I watched a bit of her testimony when I was at work, but I obviously did not have the benefit of a reasonable volume, right? And I did not tune in from the very beginning. So a lot of this will be new to me.
SNIK.
I'm going to ask you if you have any trouble at any time and you need to take a moment, just let us know, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Can you tell us, without giving us an exact address, where do you live?
No,
I live in the state of
No. I don't have time for court TV today. Let's go to law and crime trials, I think. Okay, 2 days ago, a day ago. Problem is we don't have the benefit. There we go. Let's find her. Let's find Samantha. When did she first take the stand? Let's see. Is she out? Come on. All right, where is Samantha? When I was a little kid, I actually thought that was a really pretty name. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's up there with Mary. All right, come on. Yeah, there we go.
See that microphone there?
Yes.
If you would try to sit close to that so
Yes.
we can hear you.
All right, let's come all the way in. All right.
Can you please tell the court reporter your full name and how you spell it?
Yes. My full name is Samantha Kolyesnik. Should I spell my first name too? Spell my first
She needs to chill. This woman is, I don't know. She's even more nervous than Obama. I don't know if you guys remember Obama. And Obama was straight up snitching. When he took the stand, that man was shaking. But Samantha probably, I don't know, more nerves.
name Samantha. Last name is Kolyesnik.
I'm going to ask you if you have any trouble at any time and you need to take a moment, just let us know, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Dang.
Can you tell us, without giving us an exact address, where do you live?
I live in the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah.
And can you tell us just a town? Or rather the area? What's the big
County?
city?
Lancaster County,
Okay.
near Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
And what do you do for work now?
No,
I work
people don't
full-time
find her.
at a software company, a technology company.
Wait, a software company. Okay.
Okay. And do you do anything on the side to earn money?
I do. I do various artistic endeavors. I write books. Sometimes I make independent films.
There's no way Samantha could have written this. Not one bit. Not one bit.
How long have you been doing that?
Many years now. I mean, over 5 years.
Okay.
Okay. Were you doing that back in 2022?
Yes.
Okay. And does that writing of books and work that you described, does that give you an online presence?
One thing I don't know. I don't know if this trial is gonna lead to what is this? Increased revenue, or being in this trial, if that's just gonna sabotage her. I guess we're yet to find out.
Yes.
Would that be how you try to sell or distribute some of those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you published?
Yes.
How many books have you published?
I need to look them up.
I think 4, and then I've had short fiction published in many different books, many different anthologies.
Done any movies?
Yes, but nothing big, just little independent films.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your work has gained some traction?
Yes, I'd say a small following. Nothing. I'm not like a big known person or anything like that. No.
Okay. What type of genre do you write?
Mainly horror.
She could not have written this trial.
Fiction. Some people call it like dark fiction and horror. Those kinds of stories.
Okay. And can you tell the jury what is a pen name?
A pen name is, in a general sense, just a name somebody might use to write books. That's not their real name. That's not their their legal name, on their ID.
Is that common in the author community?
Very common.
Okay. So when you were selling books, did you sell them online as well?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that capacity, did you have occasion to meet an individual that went by the name of Nick Stark?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury how you first became acquainted with Nick Stark?
In late September 2022, I had a public Twitter, it was then called Twitter, profile to where, as an author, to where I sometimes sold books. And I had sent a public tweet saying that I was selling signed books on my website. And Nick Stark, he had I think it was the username either Nick Morfox or KJ Stark at that time in Twitter. He messaged me to let me know that he had bought 4 of my books, like all 4 that were for sale. Yeah.
Has she confirmed that? Did he actually buy every single book?
Is that the first time that you met him?
Well, I didn't even meet him at that time. It was the first time that, he was directly communicating to me online.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that was the first communication, even if it wasn't a
Yeah.
face-to-face meeting?
that's correct.
Okay. And you said there was a Twitter named KJ Stark.
Yeah, he had several different Twitter names, so I can't be positive which it was, but it was either Nick Moore Fox, which I believe was his pen name, or KJ Stark. I believe it would be one of those two.
Okay. And at that time that you first interacted with him, did you ultimately have the ability to recover those tweets and provide them to law
Yes.
enforcement?
Mm.
So they're here and available for you, is that right?
Yes,
Wow.
that's correct.
Okay. Did you learn whether or not he was also writing?
He told me he was a writer. I don't know to
Wow,
like
really?
what extent. I don't think he had been like published as of yet, or maybe he had a short story or two published. I think he was a short fiction writer
Okay.
primarily.
Do you know what kind of genre he wrote?
The same, to my knowledge,
Uh-oh.
for horror, dark fiction.
Uh-oh.
So initially, you said you met him by way of digital message online in late September of 2022.
Yes.
Did that conversation continue after you first interacted with him on the purchase of your books?
Yes.
Tell the
Which
jury
offices must
how
be
that
closed?
progressed in terms of the conversation.
Yeah, well, the messages were not not a whole lot at first. At first, I really didn't even understand why he felt the need to message me, because a lot of people don't message when they buy books, they just buy it. But you know, I said thank you for buying my books, something to that effect, and then he just he like messaged again, and he just kept messaging. And then we just started engaging in small talk, like off and on through October, but not a whole lot of messages at that time. Very light conversation, I would say, in October of 2022, and all on Twitter direct messages.
So those conversations were all online, nothing in person.
Correct.
Did that time period between September and October of 22 ever graduate to phone calls?
Not in October, to my knowledge. I think the first time we had a phone call was in November of 2022.
Okay. So at some point it progressed from text messages to the actual phone.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And when you spoke with him over the phone, do you remember, you said that was in November, you believe?
Yes,
Okay.
November 2022.
Did the relationship change from light banter at any point to something more romantic?
I think so, yeah. It became, you know, flirtatious and more, I'd say, emotionally charged.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would that be part of what ultimately yielded phone calls?
Yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
Okay. Did there come a time when you met him in person for the first time?
I met him in person for the first time December 16th, 2022.
Okay.
No.
And where did you meet him?
Hold on. December 16 of 22. Isn't that sometime shortly after? Let me take a look at this. Isn't that sometime shortly after Mindy disappeared? Or isn't that when her body was actually found? Hold on. Nicholas Kassotis. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so November of 22. It's the same year. This means that he started interacting with Samantha while his wife was actually still alive. I guess that's part of his work. When his in-laws would see him on the computer, I suppose he was, messaging Samantha.
2022.
Okay. And where did you meet him?
In Pennsylvania.
Just calm
So
down.
he came to you.
That is correct.
Okay. At that point, did you know why he was in Pennsylvania?
Well, he said that he was taking a long drive for a work trip to Missouri,
What did he
and
do
then
for it?
he said that he could drive from Missouri from his work trip. He said he was like working in legal compliance to Pennsylvania, and he also said that he would end up in Delaware because he was working on a big merger and acquisition, and they were having that in
Now he does mergers and acquisitions. All right.
Delaware, which would be Delaware is very close to Pennsylvania. You know, it's a short drive away.
Did you know where he lived at the time in December of 2022?
He said he was living in Georgia.
Okay, so it was your understanding he was going from Georgia to Missouri, and then from Missouri down to Delaware, and he'd stop by you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say stop by because it's quite out of the way. He said yes, he was driving from Georgia to Missouri because he had something for work that he had to do. And he was driving because he had his dog with him, named Rusty, just a big dog, and I'm sorry, I don't know the breed. And then he said that he would love to meet me and he would drive, since he was already on the road, from Missouri to Pennsylvania. I did push
Okay,
back and
pause. So he was also having conversations or phone calls with Samantha while his wife was still alive, or at least the second wife was still alive. So this makes me wonder if the real motive, because we don't even know what the motive in this case. What's up, Benji? Benji, I came up here because I just need to. I need to get to the bottom of this, okay? Kelly and I know this is no secret. Kelly and I are friends in real life. And even last night on Friday, I was not live, right? I got off work, I did what I had to do. And the case just really bothered me. So we kept sending voice notes back and forth. This morning, we're sending voice notes back and forth. And there's a lot because I only watched this when I was at work yesterday, and my volume's usually really low. I did not get the benefit of, getting a complete picture of Samantha's testimony. Callie relayed some information about her testimony this morning, so I figured I need to hop on here and get the story from, the horse's mouth. But here's what I'm thinking, Benji. So while I'm just thinking about this, as far as Nick Kassotis is concerned, we don't actually know. I don't know that I've heard a motive that is convincing to me. Okay. There was a mention of $1.5 million that he owes his first wife, but I don't know that that would be, at least that's not a motive that satisfies me. While the prosecution does not have to prove a motive, I'm nosy and I'm curious and I like to know why people do certain things or why they, if obviously right now it's just accusations, but it's not looking too good. But going off of this timeline, what I'm thinking right now, I'm thinking that the true motive, and again, a lot will come to light because this case has twists and turns. I've not seen twists and turns like this ever in a case. They have too much going on. Um, but as far as a motive, I am inclined to believe that Nick Kassotis' true motive, if again, these are allegations, he's accused of, murking his wife. And if he did, in fact, murk his wife, I am inclined to believe that the motive for doing that was for him to form a relationship with Samantha. That's what I'm thinking. I think the motive was for him to end one relationship and get into another relationship. The reason why I think that it is because based on the timeline, it sounds like Nick started, having conversations with Samantha while his second wife, or while Mindy was still alive. And it sounds like things turned romantic while Mindy was still alive. And shortly after her body is found in Liberty County, Georgia, and before he's arrested, he pretty much, really pursues this woman hard, and he's out here traveling across the country in order to meet her. I think that's a better motive than the $1.5 million, but that's just my theory. What's up, Benji? How are you doing? Are you having a good day? Are you working? What's going on?
say that's a big drive. I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot of expectation. It feels like when somebody drives that long of a distance and he, paraphrasing here, he basically said, you don't, I'm going to, drive out to see you. And I want to meet you. And, if you don't like me, I'll just drive back. He made it he persisted and, made it very,
And
like low.
that's as far as motive is concerned, that's not to say that Nick was not talking to other people or trying to pursue relationships with other women. But again, this case has twists and turns. So we don't exactly know which version we're getting.
Pressure from my.
There
my
might be
version.
another turn around the corner.
Now, at that point, would it be fair to say you had met him at the end of September? How long, I say met, online?
Talked online.
Right.
How long had it been since you started talking to him to when he came to your place? December 16th.
What, 3 months, 2 months?
I'm not sure I understand. That was the time frame. So he started talking to me online, Twitter direct messages in September. And then the first time that I ever met him in person was December 16th.
Okay, so about 2 months roughly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, what was your marital status?
I was separated. I'd already filed for divorce and moving from my marital home to my own home at that time. And I moved in November of 2022.
Okay.
And in that time, before you met Mr. Stark, were you concerned that you had met him online?
Yes. Yes, I was. And I had,
Not have written it.
even asked him, about that and said that I was concerned because I was newly single and, living basically alone. And, he had provided some documentation to me, I
What
think,
did he
to, kind of comfort me and assure me that, he was who he said he was. He sent selfies, he sent some other documents as well, just
What
to verify
documents?
his identity, and it did comfort me that I thought he was who he said he was.
Okay.
Listen, I don't want to say this, but I don't have to say it, but I want to say it. What I know so far, or the information that has come to the forefront so far, is that Nick Kassotis knows how to earn the trust of others. That's very clear.
Did you ask for his driver's license?
Yes, I did.
Did he send it?
Yes,
Did you ask for something from his employment?
I did at one point, but I did not ask for that then. I asked for that later. Yep.
Did you ultimately receive both the driver's license and his employment
What employment
verification,
did
for
you
lack of a better way to phrase that?
Yes, I received a copy of his driver's license, which said Nicholas Stark on it.
Okay.
Like a photocopy.
Okay, so I suppose he had already changed. And that's the thing with Nick. We don't actually know what his real name is. So I suppose so when did he change his name? I don't know.
I received an employment verification letter from the company he said he was working at.
What company?
Should I say the other things that I received
Let's
to
just stop there
verify?
for a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to approach Your Honor, if that's okay, and show the witness what I have physically marked as 1.84 and 1.86. I'm going to show them on the teleprompter after, but
Nick, you need to write some stuff down.
You'll be able to also see them on the
We need to
Should I
get
look
to
at
yes,
that?
please do.
Okay.
Do you recognize 1.84, the first document I handed you?
Yes.
What do you recognize that to be?
This would be the employment verification letter from the company he said he was working at.
Okay. And is that a exact duplicate of the document that you received? Just a copy?
I believe so, yes.
At this time, I'd seek to tender 1.84.
Okay, what's the company? Who did he work
And
for?
1.86, the next document in your hand, do you recognize that?
Ed,
Yes.
how much time lapsed between the request for the employment verification and when she actually received it? Did he have an opportunity to create a company? We have questions. We have questions because, I don't know, this case has just way too many twists and turns for me. Let's see, what's Benji saying? All right, Benji's doing good, about to go to work. All right, my dear, you have a fantastic day and be safe out there.
What do you recognize that to be?
This is a photocopy of his driver's license, which says Nicholas Killian Stark on it.
Okay. And what state is that from?
Georgia.
Okay.
And do you recognize that to be the document that he sent you of his driver's license?
Yes.
At this time, I'd seek to tender 1.86 as well.
I don't know, was it a certified copy?
You can hold those right there. At
Okay.
this time, Your Honor, I'd like to publish 1.84.
I need to see it. I like your hairstyle.
Does that reference a company name of APIS?
Uh-uh.
APIS?
Yes.
And if I scroll to the bottom here,
That's the verification. That is the verification she got. I know. I was expecting something, a pay stub, something. Oh wow, Mr. Stark. So I need to read this thing for myself. Okay, so this was. Why would it be dated? I suppose she received this verification in January, then, right? Because it's dated January 12th, 2023. So that's after they were already together. Let's see, what does it say? To whom it may concern, this letter is to certify the employment of, really, this is what she accepted as verification of his employment. So for uh, I just have questions. And again, this to me, we're looking at this, or I'm looking at this with a critical eye from the viewpoint of, knowing that Nick is on trial. But even then, the under what circumstances would his employer in January of 2023 be drafting this document? Doesn't I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
and if I scroll to the bottom
I don't know.
here,
A pay stub or something. Hold on. So Mr. Stark began working at Apis Limited on February 12th, 2018, and he has held continuous employment since that time. His position upon hiring was senior attorney. Effective March 1, 2020, he was promoted to, oh my goodness, he was promoted to deputy general counsel. Go on, Mr. Stark. Mr. Stark was promoted to vice president for compliance. Isn't it vice president of compliance? I don't know. Maybe it's for compliance. Effective October 1, 2020, comma, they're missing the comma after the 2020, and became a vice president chief legal officer effective January 1, 2022. Look at that. That man was just flying through the ladder, okay? He has held those roles since that time. If you have any questions about the information provided, please do not hesitate to contact us at hr@apislimited.com or by calling the number. Let's just see if Apis Limited actually, I mean, that might exist, but let's see. Apis Limited. Let's see what they do out there. I don't know. I don't know. This is leading me to the government in the UK. Literally, it's gov.uk. Okay, there's another Apis Limited. It talks about Albania. I don't know. Let's click. This is also how you end up with what is this? Malware. Okay, Albania, is that the country of Albania, or where is this? Yeah, it's talking about a Kosovo. I don't know, Mr. Stark. Then and there's an Apis in India. Hold on. Then there's LinkedIn. LinkedIn is taking me to an Apis Limited. This is in Pristina, Kosovo. Like, we are in Europe. We are in Europe right now. We're in Kosovo. Oh my goodness. Let's go back. Apis Limited. Wow. Wow. I need more information. I need more information. This is just and this is a movie for real. This is a real movie. This is a movie. All right, let me see. Did I miss any other apices? Nope. Nope. And even AI, I mean, AI, I don't like AI. AI is not reliable. But here is what they're, the overview. APIS Limited can refer to several different companies. The most prominent are APIS Limited, an engineering and smart infrastructure solutions provider, and APIS India Limited, a food products company, particularly known for its honey. Additionally, APIS Partners is a global private equity firm, and APIS Services provides shared services. I don't know. Listen, I just come on, come on, come on. Let's see. Where's the phone number? Where's the phone number? Um, let's see. 888 7. I can barely see 795 0407. Okay, so this number takes me to Northwestern Counseling and Support Services. So mental health support. Okay, apparently they are in, I don't know. And then there's what is this? SRS Recovery Agency scam. Oh, wait, what? That's Reddit though. Okay, 2007. There's a 2017 article by Microsoft, and they're talking about tech support scams, blah blah blah. So I guess that's a scam number. And then they're talking about don't return calls from these. I don't know. This man was wow, wow. Okay, okay. Let us see. Let's find out who Marcus J. Jones. Oh, that's such a common name, though. Human resources specialist. I don't know. Does that email? No, I'm not going to email. I don't want McIntyre to come after me. I'm tempted to email them, but we're not going to do that. No, I don't see no Marcus Jones that works for an APIS here. All right.
Does it indicate also
Wow.
when Mr. Stark began working at APIS Limited?
And
Yes.
wasn't he working for Microsoft? Isn't that what he told his in-laws? There's a lot going on here.
And when was that?
It says February 12th, 2018.
Does it also indicate to you an email address at the very bottom where you could contact if there were questions?
Yes.
What steps have you
What was
taken?
the at portion of that?
What
apislimited.com.
steps have you taken to verify any of this?
I'm now going to turn your attention to the driver's license. If we can probably turn it off in between.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, she has calmed down.
I'm now publishing 1.86. One moment.
Wow. Whew.
There you go.
Wow.
Is that the copy of the Georgia driver's license you received?
Yes.
Hold on.
And that was
Oh, this is a real thing. Yeah, this is a real thing. Did he live in Atlanta? Okay, let's see. What year was he born? We don't even know if any of this stuff is real. So I was gonna say what year, but we don't know. Let's see. I'm just taking a look. I don't know what's this. I cannot make that out. We don't even know if his height is accurate.
rather a name of Nicholas Killian Stark on there, correct?
Yes.
Does it say the expiration date on that top right side?
2030.
Yes.
Oh,
It
no.
says June 3rd, 2030.
And was that a photograph of Mr. Stark?
Yes.
As you knew him?
Yep. Yes.
Thank you.
I don't know. Who is this lady? She keeps looking back like I don't know what's going on. She must be related to Stark.
Although I will say I don't think he had the beard when I met him. So that just that difference.
Okay.
Yep.
So he sent you those two documents at varying times.
Right.
And you believe that he was Nick Stark? Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Did he use any other names? I know you said he used that pen name. Was that Nick Moorfox?
Yeah, I believe he had the pen name Nick Moorfox that he published short fiction under.
Okay.
That was like his author pen name.
I suppose when he was actually on the computer and his in-laws, I suppose, thought, he was doing some really important stuff. He was just writing novels. That's what it sounds like to me.
Do you know if he had changed his name in any other way?
No,
Those are the only two names that you knew.
that's correct. I mean, he had the other username KJ Stark, but he told me his he had two middle, like Killian James was like his full, like, yeah. So I just assumed that that was the KJ Stark,
Okay.
but no, he never told me he had another last name different than Stark.
Okay.
Did you ever know the name Nicholas James Kassotis?
No.
Now, you indicated that
I think his
at the
middle name's
time,
changed.
you were in the process of a divorce. You'd already been separated. Did you know
Vulnerable.
Mr. Stark's marital status?
I believed I had. He told me that he was a widower,
Okay.
and that
Okay. That's important. When did he tell Samantha that he was a widower? Was it in September when they started talking, in October, November, or December? That's very important. The prosecution needs to bring that information out.
he had lost his wife and his unborn child about 2 years prior.
Wait,
And
2 years? I don't know. Well, that just I don't know. Uh, I was expecting it to be much sooner. He went with 2 years. Okay. All right.
and that they had both died in a hospital.
Wow.
And he told you that when?
What? Hold on. And that's what I keep saying. The facts in this case twisted. Samantha could not have written this. Mm-mm. Wow. Okay, let's get back into this. When did he reveal this information?
He told me that he first referenced that his wife had passed away in October of 2022 in Twitter direct messages.
Wait, what? I thought you said 2 years before. Or are you saying, is that the date? Hold on. Let's go back.
He told me that he was a widower,
Okay.
and that he had lost his wife and his unborn child about 2 years prior, and that they had both died in a hospital.
And he told you that when?
He told me that he first referenced that his wife had passed away in October of 2022 in Twitter direct messages.
Okay.
He told you that in October of 2022?
Yes, in on Twitter in the direct messages.
Okay.
Did you subsequently determine that that was not correct? Meaning, did you find out from law enforcement that that was not the case?
Oh, I found out from law enforcement that that was not the case on the date of his arrest, and that was not until May 2023.
So when you first met KJ Stark via tweet, that was communicated to you through a tweet?
So the tweets are like public, but we were communicating through the Twitter direct messages or like private messages, like similar to like if you were talking just like a text message, but just on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm going to try and make this a little bit easier. Your Honor,
I guess
I'm
we wanted
1.93, 1.94,
I need to see that in
1.95, sequentially through 1.99. So 1.93 through 1.99.
Oh no, Kassotis family is sitting on this side. So who's the lady that's sitting on the other side?
May I? Yes, sir.
Okay, what are you writing down? You better cross-examine on that, Doug Weinstein. Okay, publish. Need to see what you got going on. Alexa, remind me notebook at 8:40 a.m.
Okay, I'll remind you tomorrow at 8:40 a.m.
Now, I'm actually going to put these up on the screen, if I may, Your Honor, so I'll seek to tender them first.
This is wild. Mom looks like she's not been sleeping.
I'm going to hand you exhibits 1.93 through 1.99.
Yeah, who's that lady?
And tell us if you recognize them.
I do.
Okay.
Are those a fair and accurate depiction of what you provided to law enforcement in conjunction with this case?
Yes. I believe I provided more than this too, but yes, these I did provide. Mhm.
Okay. And are those just exact duplicates of what you've turned over, just not in color?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I seek to introduce 1.93 through 1.99.
No objection. All right, they're all admitted.
You should be
total of 7
objecting.
Exhibits, but they are admitted without objection.
I'm now going to open and publish Exhibit 1.93, Slide 1.
Okay.
Would it be fair to say that
Yes,
that's what
you
you
can
have in
be.
front of you is
I
1.93?
can't see that.
Yes.
You know, I'm nosy. I need to read this stuff. Hold on. Hold on. We're going to have to blow this up. I know they're not going to read this stuff. I need to see it for myself. Let's see. These are not going to be the Lori Vallow Daybell text messages, but we don't know what we're about to get. Okay, so this is, let's see. What's up, Brooklyn? Oh, Brooklyn said, what are you doing here on Saturday? Listen, Brooklyn, this case has a chokehold on me. Callie and I have been going back and forth about, the third wife's testimony. I watched a little bit of it when I was at work, but I could not really hear everything because my volume's low. So I need to be up to speed. I'm probably going to be live on Monday as well because this case has a chokehold on me. I'm really interested in this case. It's interesting, a lot of twists and turns, and I don't want to miss anything. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, Brooklyn. Uh, Benji's asking, how important is motive in court? It's not an element that the prosecution has to prove, but as far as storytelling, it can be important to jurors. It can be important to jurors because some people do want to know why certain things were done or why, potentially why a criminal defendant engaged in the criminal conduct that he's accused of. It's not an element, though. It's not something that the prosecution has to prove. Let's get into these text messages, though. I need to, whatever this is. Hold on. It says, I cannot see. It says, hey, all. What is that? Hey, Allie? I don't know. It's something. Hey, something. I'm going through this is Samantha. Hey, I don't know. That's an A something. Or is it an O? I don't know. I'm going through a divorce and moving soon. The usual. So I've revamped my store, signed books on sale, bundles available, and more. Stay tuned. Free US shipping. If you love horror books and my work, I'd appreciate your support. So I suppose that was public. I don't know how Twitter works. So, okay. And then, I don't know. I think this says book bundle or something. I cannot make that orange thing out. Okay, so there's a message here. The thing is, I don't exactly know who is sending this message. I suppose this would be Nick to the left. So it sounds like he's responding to this. Anyways, he says, "Hey, Sam, just put in an order." I think it says long overdue. There's something there before the long. I cannot make it out. Long overdue one, if we're being honest. Also, if you ever need to talk, need to talk. Ah, that is her problem. I just figured out, I figured out, or at least from my perspective, he, if this is true, she appears to be easy prey, easy target, because she publicly mentioned that she's going through a divorce. When somebody's going through a divorce, they are vulnerable. Even when she said she was going through a divorce, I'm like, yeah, vulnerable. Anyways, let's go on, or at least emotionally vulnerable. So he is pretty much offering his counseling services here. And he says, if you ever need to talk, I'm a good listener. I'm sure you've got a great support system, but sometimes it can be easier to talk to someone you don't know as well. And if not, that is fine. Cannot make that out. Just wanted to extend the offer. I hope you are, I think that says as well as possible, considering I cannot make that out. But okay, so she posts publicly on Twitter, lets people know that she's going through a divorce, and ding, 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 here comes Nick Kassotis. So this was September 24, 2022. This is around 2:11 p.m. So that's around the time when the father-in-law is not allowed to be at the residence, provided that um, this was a weekend. Alexa, which day of the week was September 24, 2022?
September 24th, 2022 was on a Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, so I suppose the father-in-law was home. And then here, Samantha replies. She says, "Hi, Nick. Thanks so much. That's really thoughtful of you. And I cannot make that up, but I think it's probably going to say, I really appreciate the offer as well. It was nice of you to message and offer support." She's going through a divorce. She let the piranhas know she's going through a divorce and she's vulnerable. So she's part to blame for this. Don't be posting shit like that on the internet. All right, let's
I'm
go.
going to scroll in here.
Look at me. I could have just waited. I could have waited. I was squinting and everything. Okay, so this was KJ Stark. Okay, dang, he had 1,400 followers. Okay,
Can you see the name of the tweet that was sent from to you?
Yes, it's KJ Stark.
dang.
Okay. And is that what you were referring to earlier when you referenced late September first speaking with Mr. Stark?
That's correct.
Okay. And would it be fair to say that here you have sort of an announcement on the public page about you selling the books?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And
Yeah,
as a
you
result,
can listen. You can announce your books. You can sell your books. Or I suppose her telling folks that she was going through a support, she was hoping to get more people to sympathize with her and for more people to buy the books. I don't know. Whatever it is she was trying to do, I don't know. Yeah.
is that why or when you received rather the response from Mr. Stark concerning the purchase of the books that you were selling?
Yeah, so what he's done.
Yeah, I like this full context because when she said the man just reached out, telling her that he bought books, I'm like, okay, but she's the one that put her public information out there
There is he took
or
like my
personal information.
public tweet and he kind of like quote tweeted in a message and then wrote his message beneath it. Yep.
Would that be the message that he sent to you?
Yes.
And when was that sent?
September 24th, 2022.
And in that post that he sent to you, did he offer to communicate with you?
Yes, he did.
And if you look at the top of this post, was he aware that you were going through a divorce at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
You put that
And as a
information.
result, did you respond?
Yes, I did.
And you indicated earlier that that's not common. Is that correct?
It does happen sometimes. Sometimes people.
Ma'am, you're the one. Not to blame you, but you made yourself. I don't know. This was like a call to all predators out there. Okay.
People want to let you know they're buying your books, but it is not the majority of cases. No, I wouldn't say it's common.
Okay. So I'm now going to go to number 7.
I'm already preparing cross-examination for what's his face? What's the man's name? Doug Weinstein. I'm preparing his cross-examination.
That would be 1.94. Just so we're clear, the gray writing and the pink writing that is displayed on the screen, who is the gray writing?
The gray writing is Nick.
And the pink?
That's me.
I have to be up for coffee in the morning. Dang, I should have picked a different day. I also did not know that I would be up here tonight. But as Callie and I were having discussions back and forth today, I'm like, I might have to get up here because I was gonna watch this regardless. And if I'm watching it regardless, I might as well be up here talking crazy. You guys know I talk crazy. Brooklyn says her book writing name or her a pen name, I suppose, is Samantha. I'm not gonna say that woman's name. I think she said Coldsnick or something. I don't wanna butcher her name. And the title of the book is Waif. Listen, Samantha might be an author. She could not have written this. I'm telling you now. All right, let's get into this. Do they have the beginning of this text? You guys know I need to read all this stuff because I'm nosy. She is zooming in. Hold on. Before she zooms in, I need
1.94.
Hold on. No, I cannot read that. Nope. Hold on. I need to read it because she might not read it. So it says break. I don't know if it works. Is that max or something? I don't know. I hope the move goes well. I know moving, especially in the context of other life upheaval, sometimes feels overwhelming and stressful. Cannot make that one out. Think moving feels like that always, but adding the other stuff, and it's even worse. And the last 3 years, I moved a couple of times, learned pretty much everything I thought about myself. Was not true. That's a little odd. So everything he thought about himself or he learned about himself was not true. Let's get in there. I don't know. I guess they're talking about computers, right?
Just so we're clear.
All right. So hold on. So he says, learned pretty much everything I thought about myself was not true. I don't know. That's a little off. And had my wife pass away, none of this is to try to compare. I don't do that. It's just to say I probably know some, though certainly not all of the feelings you're dealing with right now. And this sounds comforting. If there's ever anything you need or want to talk about, the door's open. I neither mean to pry nor to suggest there aren't 100 people in your life better suited. Just here if I can help. Feeling like you're working 24/7 is tough, and I wish I had an answer. I wonder what she posted or wrote before this. And I wish I had an answer. I think it's even harder since I started working remotely, which I love on one hand, but on the other, it just blurs the work time, personal time, or personal timeline so much. Plus, always having something I could be working on makes it hard to relax. I have not yet figured out the answer. If you do, please share. Okay.
Gray writing and the pink writing that
Come on,
is
let's
displayed
go.
on the screen. Um, who is the gray writing?
Hold on. Hope your week is going well. Fall weather arrived in Georgia overnight, and hopefully it is here to stay. Rusty and I, okay, he forgets everybody around this time. He forgets about Mindy, he forgets about their baby, he forgets about his in-laws, he forgets about not just in-laws, the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, and if they are living with Frank the Fourth, he forgets about Frank the Fourth and Frank's wife. So he talks about Rusty. So Rusty and I had a delightful walk this morning, made me feel alive. Hope your week has started well and you're feeling accomplished. So October 18 of 2022, around 1:32 p.m. Alexa, what day of the week was October 18, 2022?
October 18th, 2022 was on a Tuesday.
A Tuesday. So around this time, the father-in-law was not allowed to be at home. That's if they were living together. Maybe they were with Frank the Fourth. I don't quite remember all that information. All right. So she goes on to say, "Hey Nick, typing from my phone as I'm already in bed. Why are you in bed? Okay, I suppose maybe it's later on. So I fear this may be another super long paragraph. I'm so sorry to hear about your wife. May I ask what happened? Ah. If you don't want to talk about it, that's also totally understandable. You're right that moving is stressful. It sounds like you've done a lot of that lately. Do you think you'll stay in Georgia? I take it Rusty is your dog. I haven't had a dog in years and very much miss it. My last dog was Charlie, a little, I think it says calm. I cannot figure out if that's CAIM or CLMN, but that M could also be an RN. I don't know. Terrier. You were right about the deadline for my screenplay, but I had to. Come on. Let's
The
go.
gray writing is
Come on.
Nick.
And the pink?
That's
Okay, hold on, but you were right.
me.
Go on.
Okay. And just if we could look specifically at this first.
All right, hold on. I need to write out. I'm writing out Doug's cross examination here. I know for a fact that I cross examine better than Doug. He's had all this evidence months, maybe years in advance, did not do anything with it. And I'm coming up with better cross examination questions while I'm just watching this.
Paragraph.
Yes.
Does he reference there specifically about losing his wife?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so if I were to read the line, in the last 3 years, I moved a couple times, learned pretty much everything I thought about myself was not true, and had my wife pass away. Is this what you were referring to?
Yes.
And when was this ultimately received by you?
October 18th, 2022.
And at that time, did you believe his wife was dead?
Yes.
Did he subsequently tell you that his wife also had been pregnant at the time she passed?
I
Yes.
need to see that. Show it to me.
Now, did he indicate at any time that he was in any other relationship or just that that one had expired? Meaning the relationship had ended, that she had passed?
He never indicated that he was in any kind of relationship with any kind of romantic relationship with anybody.
Did you know if he had another wife that preceded the wife he just
No. Let's move on. You guys know I'm about to talk shit.
referenced?
No.
Let's
So
move.
at that time, you thought that the only time he had been married was to the woman he described on October 18th?
Yes.
Did he say how she died initially?
Yes, he
Alexis,
said
stop.
that she died in a hospital and that blood pressure complications and possibly an undiagnosed heart condition as well.
Dang.
I'm now showing you the next slide. That would be 1.95. Can you read us that paragraph starting she had?
Listen,
She had an
I'm a far better cross-examiner than Harvey. No, no, that's not his name. What's his name? Doug Weinstein. Here's the thing. So with this case, it's a little, I mean, this is a difficult case. This is not Brooklyn said free Alexa. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So Brooklyn says Doug is a public defender on this case, and Doug is doing it for a low fee. Absolutely not. Doug is not a public defender. A public defender is somebody that specifically works for a public defender's office. That is their job, day in, day out. You cannot take in cases from elsewhere. What it sounds like, he's assigned counsel. This means that there's an overflow of cases. Alexa, stop. There's an overflow of, I'm going to disconnect Alexa. Hold on. Yeah, I'll disconnect her. I'll put her back together before I go to bed. When there's an overflow of cases at the public defender's office, then cases are assigned out to private attorneys. Doug Weinstein is not a public defender. So I used to be a public defender. I worked for 3 public defenders' offices. My job day in and day out was to represent indigent defendants. Okay. I could not take on other work. Everything that I had to do was basically my cases were assigned to me, and they were from, I just worked for the government. That's what I did. There are assigned counsels. This is what Doug Weinstein does. I've also seen other, whenever I watch Judge McBurney's courtroom, we have other assigned counsels. And again, that's not a public defender. If, what is this? Let's move on. But here's the thing. So this is again, this case is very complicated because we have too many. I don't know how many authors we had writing the facts of this case. It's a lot going on. So what complicates this case is because it sounds like Nick was doing a lot of talking. So there are a lot of stories out there. If we go by the Mindy's mom's testimony as well as the father's testimony, our understanding, and I guess this is what the third wife is telling us here as well. They're basically saying that no, Mindy went to a hospital. She was pregnant. She had uncontrolled high blood pressure. She died from complications of high blood pressure, possibly a heart condition. Okay, those are the facts that we're dealing with. Those facts are uncontested thus far because Doug did not challenge that. Okay, so here's the thing. There was no ceremony. Nobody has seen the body. I guess we still have to get to Nick Kassotis' recorded statements. I don't exactly know what he's saying on those statements, but the way that I'm defending this, right? So far, we know that Mindy died in a hospital. Nobody has seen the body. And as far as I'm concerned right now, maybe my position changes when we hear from Nick Kassotis. But as far as I'm concerned right now, Nick Kassotis does not have the body. We don't have anybody else that can tell us about this body. So I am going to argue that there was organ harvesting going on. No, really, that is what I'm arguing. I'm arguing that there was organ harvesting and that Mindy's body somehow ended up in the hands of an organ harvester, and that's how it was strewn about and dismembered around. I know it sounds crazy, but that's a better defense than what Doug Weinstein has at the moment. Another defense I potentially thought about, I did not quite look into it yet. I was gonna. Benji said, robot lives don't matter. So another angle that I considered yesterday, it must have been while I was at work. I considered looking at this specific area, looking at Liberty County and surrounding areas to see if women had gone missing within that area of women, or if women's, not even just women, general, if dismembered bodies have been found in that area. Because if that's in fact the case, that is the angle that I would be. That's the angle that I would be arguing. But Doug Weinstein has no real experience in criminal courts, does not know what the fuck he's doing, and that's why he's fumbling. But please tell me, tell me if you think those are reasonable things to argue, because in my mind, that is better than what Doug Weinstein is doing. But let's move on. Let's move on.
An undiagnosed
To read this though. Hold on. So my second angle. Okay, so we have body harvesting, and then we have copycat. Copycat. All right. All right, let's read these messages because we know they're not going to read these messages. So he goes on to say, you bounced back, and I'm sure you'll knock it out quickly. She had an undiagnosed heart issue that was aggravated by her pregnancy. Very sudden change in the way I thought life would look, but doing my best now to figure it out. Oh, that's a thing. Right. I could not figure out if this was an L or, and I said it kind of looked like an M. Anyways, let's move on. So terriers are so cute. I just looked them up. Charlie must have been a cool little guy. I'm gonna look them up because I actually don't. I've never owned. No, I owned a dog once. Never mind. I did. I owned a dog before I had a baby. All right. I hope to not stay in Georgia for all that long. Nothing against it. It's just not for me. I'm not really a city guy, but haven't really found a place outside the city that felt right. Thinking about options, I'd love to make a move and be settled, so not rushing it. Okay, I don't know why he's laughing, but okay. Have considered going back to Central VA, Charlottesville. Isn't that a city or is that country? I don't know. Charlottesville area, which I loved when I lived there, upstate New York, or maybe back to New England. Been taking weekend
heart issue that was aggravated by her pregnancy.
there.
Very sudden change in the way I thought life would look, but doing my best now to figure it out.
So he told you that in this tweet?
No, come
Uh,
on.
in
Oh,
this-
wait. You cannot just do that. Okay. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Been taking weekends here and there to go to different spots to compare. Not in a rush, so I can get it right. Ruled a few out so far, but haven't landed on the this is the right spot. Are you from wherever you are? Do you like it? I'm realizing I have zero idea where that is. So he's fishing for information. I think I'll stay on the East Coast. Feels like home, but have also considered going back to Europe. You lived in Europe? Okay, let's just read. Let's just read. Though I've got a weird immigration thing in the UK that might could have make it much easier, much harder to do. So getting that resolved would be nice. I don't know. What's the issue in the UK? Twists and turns. Okay? I hope your weekend is off to a great start and you've managed to squeeze in some fun. I'm sure. Can you guys see my arrow? Like, can you guys see my little my mouse or no? Like when I'm moving it, can you guys see that? Okay. Blah 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 blah. And you've managed to squeeze in some fun. I'm sure you've got a lot on your plate, but I hope it's not all that's on your plate. Have a wonderful day. Oh shoot, I was about to ask Alexa what day of the week October 22 was, but I don't know. She's disconnected. Okay, so this is around 12:53. I'm figuring out the timelines here. It sounds like he's always sending these messages around the same time. And then he goes on to say, The Watcher was a letter. I don't know, that must be a movie or a series or something. I thought there was some amazing acting and the premise was fantastic. And I personally loved the ending. Or maybe that's her movie. I don't know.
Private message, yeah, on Twitter,
What day did he tell you that?
October 22nd, 2022.
That's crazy. That girl did not even know she had an an undiagnosed heart condition. She did not even know that she had uncontrolled high blood pressure. And here he was
Did you know
diagnosing.
that his current wife was alive on that date at that time?
No.
That's crazy. That is crazy. All right, come on. Okay, where are you going?
And he described
Okay, so the very part, I don't think we read that. I'm sorry you've had a rough week. I'm glad you've bounced back and I'm sure you'll knock it out quickly. No, man, I think I read this. Yeah, I read
it
this.
as a very sudden change. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Did he mention if they had children? Other than that she was pregnant when she passed.
No other children, just that she was pregnant and that that she lost he lost both her and the unborn child. Is what he told.
Oh my
And then
goodness,
he
these
had
are
to-
such cute little dogs. They're so cute. Oh, they're so cute. They look really, really tiny. Yeah, I don't think they grow into big dogs. They're so cute. I might be getting a dog soon, you guys. My friend's looking to rehome her dog, and this is a dog that my daughter, at least we've known they got the dog around the time when my daughter was like 3 or something, and she adores the dog. I don't know that I have time for a dog, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Did him telling you that his wife had passed impact your trust of Mr. Stark?
Wait, what?
Impact your trust of Mr. Stark?
It
Okay,
definitely.
what did Brooklyn says? Brooklyn says he couldn't leave the USA anyways. He didn't have a passport in his name and was behind his spousal support. I don't know. You cannot tell Stark that because I'm sure he could have found a way. He could have found a story.
Impacted me. It made me feel.
Wait, what's the
Knew
question?
that his wife had passed. Did him telling you that his wife had passed impact your trust of Mr. Stark?
It definitely impacted me. It made me feel very sad and bad for him. Because that's a terrible thing that could happen to somebody.
It's
You know,
so
to lose
emotional.
your wife and unborn child. That's how I felt at the time. I felt bad for him.
Empathy.
Okay. Did you convey that to him?
Yes, I felt empathy because that's when I thought he had lost his wife and unborn child.
Yeah, that's how he garnered sympathy. To me, I think that's the real motive. I think that's the motive. The motive here was for him to move on to number 3. And in order to make that a reality, it sounds like he had to put it into action, allegedly.
Did that also facilitate you continuing to chat with him?
I did continue
Empathy.
to chat with him. Yes.
And did that then
Sorry.
progress to that more flirtatious and romantic stage that you described for the jury?
I would say more like emotional at first because I had lost somebody close to me. To, you know.
Wait, I
thought
missed that.
at the time.
I was parenting.
Progress to that,
Continue to chat with him. Yes.
and did that then
Sorry.
progress to that more flirtatious and romantic stage that you described for the jury?
I would say more like emotional at first because I had lost somebody close to me. To, you know, I thought too at the time. So more emotional, and then yeah, eventually flirtatious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, at some point, you said in December, he came to visit you. You had just moved, is that right?
I had moved in November. Yeah, that's correct.
Where did
So
you
just
move?
like about a month prior.
Okay.
I know the internet has found this woman already. I just know it. I just know it.
And when he came to visit, did he stay with you in December of 2022?
No.
Why not?
Well, for one, I wouldn't have somebody stay with me just meeting them. And then two, he had.
I want to know though, when Samantha got the employment verification letter, what did she do with the letter? Did she contact human resources? Did she look up APIS Limited? Because again, just looking at the way the letter's written, that's not under what circumstances would his employer be, drafting that letter? Under what circumstances? That doesn't make sense. Because if he wanted, if that letter was necessary for him to buy a car, for instance, they want your pay stubs. If he was buying a home, they want your pay stubs. If I don't know. I've not seen a letter. I've not seen a letter like that. Have I seen offers, like written offers, where you have to accept employment? Sure. And that's not to whom it may concern. This is to confirm that this person works here. No, it is whatever the employer's name, writing to you, extending an offer, giving you a deadline of when to respond. So that I don't know. Yeah, he if it's true, if this is in fact Kassotis' work, he knows how to earn the trust of some people, or at least people that are vulnerable.
Dusty, his dog, with him, and my house, I rent, and they don't allow pets.
Okay.
They don't.
That seems to be the real reason. The real reason she didn't allow him to stay with her, to me, it sounds like, the fact that he had a dog. It's not so much the, stranger danger. Because at this moment, it sounds like he trusted her. She trusted him.
Like any pets in the place.
Okay. And so do you know where he was staying when he came in December?
When he came in December, I believed he was at an Airbnb
And he
in
likes
Pennsylvania.
Airbnbs.
What was your understanding, if I'm correct, that he
I
was
also did not know that you could have an extended stay at Airbnb. Kylie had to clear that up for me. I don't like staying at Airbnbs. I suppose I probably watch too many. I spent a lot of time watching true crime, and I used to be in actual criminal courts. I just, not to say that things don't happen to people in hotels, because I remember when I lived in Mississippi, that was a hate crime though. Yeah, that was a hate crime, and that occurred. Was it in the hallway of the hotel? I don't know. A lot of things be going down in hotels as well, but I just Airbnbs can't do it.
going to Missouri,
Mhm.
he was going to visit you, and then he was going to Delaware. Is that right?
I
Who's
think
this
he was
lady?
going
Do
to
you
go
know?
back to Georgia first because that was his home. But he did tell me he would have to live for several months in Delaware because that's where he'd be working for the merger acquisition that he was the point person on. That was my understanding.
My man had a lot
Okay.
of jobs.
Did he move to Delaware, as far as you know?
I thought, yeah, that his company was putting him up in Delaware.
Okay.
Not that he had moved there, but that his company was providing like long-term housing while he worked on this.
And I'm actually disappointed. Unrelated but related. I am disappointed in the fact that the public defender's office would hand this case off to a Doug Weinstein that has very limited experience with criminal trials. Because at least in the offices that I have worked, okay, you had to have extended criminal trial experience for a case to be assigned to you. And oftentimes, you'd actually have to put in a real bid. So I suppose they just saw this man have one criminal trial, and then they're like, okay, this is we can put him in the rotation and put somebody else's liberty in his hands. That is very disappointing to me.
Merger and acquisition.
But that is Fulton
Did you
Times.
know if he had moved to Pennsylvania at some point after his Delaware trip?
I don't think he ever like permanently moved to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He stayed at Airbnbs in
Okay.
Pennsylvania when he was visiting me.
Airbnb. I suppose for Airbnb, nobody's really. You just have to pay. Yeah, you just have to pay. Wow. He must have had glowing reviews, though.
Let me be more clear.
Okay.
Was he staying in Pennsylvania in some location at some point while the time period from December forward in
Yes.
2022?
From December forward, to my knowledge, I mean, he was spending the work time in Delaware, and then he would spend some weekends in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
like when he wasn't working in Delaware.
Okay. So as far as you knew, he was commuting basically from Delaware and staying back at the Airbnb in Pennsylvania.
Yes, that was my understanding.
I need to look up.
And when that was occurring, would it be fair to say what months?
Do we know? I mean, at this point, we really don't know who Nick Kassotis is. But do we know why? If this man, in fact, worked from the Navy, I don't know about the Pentagon and all of that, but if he did, in fact, work for the Navy, what happened? Because I am of the opinion that he must have been fired. It sounds like he was fired because nothing else makes sense.
I met him in December. It would have been, the last half of December,
Okay.
January, February, March, April of 2023, and then that first half or so of May 2023 until
Hold on, let's go back.
December.
Months.
I met him in December. It would have been, the last half of December,
Okay.
January, February, March, April of 2023, and then that first half or so of May 2023 until the day he was arrested.
Okay. So
crazy.
during all that time, you weren't living together.
No, we were not. We never moved in together. We did stay at the same Airbnb, some Airbnbs that he
Okay.
rented together.
Okay. And at that point, you said that the relationship grew and it became a romantic.
Yeah, that's all the confirmation I needed. Okay, that is the real motive for offing Mindy. Okay, nobody else can convince me otherwise. That is the real motive. He had to get rid of Mindy in order for him to be able to live the rest of his life with Samantha.
Relationship, correct?
Yes.
Did there come a time when he described to you the process of moving and what had happened with his belongings?
Oh,
Yes. He told
another twist and turn. We don't know what the hell is gonna come out of Samantha's mouth. I just know it's gonna be some bullshit. Like that's literally been that has been the entire trial. We're only a week into this trial, and every time there's a there's a twist and a turn.
like an anecdote in Twitter direct message.
Benji, I'm sorry. You're at work. You're listening to this, so I'm gonna stop. Cussing. Brooklyn said, "Leave Doug alone." Absolutely not. I am not gonna leave Doug alone because he's incompetent. Okay, the case could have gone to somebody else that actually knows what the hell they're doing. So, and to me, listen, I have been a public defender before, and I did not do the work because I thought that I had this remarkable ability for people to get acquitted. But I do strongly believe in the Constitution. I strongly believe in the oath that I swore to when I was admitted as a lawyer. And from a constitutional standpoint, I think that, not even I think, I know that somebody that defends criminal defendants for a living, it has to be somebody that is actually competent, somebody that knows what they're doing, and somebody that works and advocates, upholds the Constitution, and fights for their clients. Okay, what that fight is, it doesn't necessarily mean that your clients are going to get acquitted, but they have to have a fair chance at trial. A criminal defendant only has a fair chance of trial when the person representing them is, in fact, skilled at what they're doing. To me, what I see happening here, this is ineffective assistance of counsel. Doug Weinstein should have never been assigned this case because he does not know what the fuck he's doing. Um, Hold on. Brooklyn says, I think you can't stay in an Airbnb longer than 29 days. Okay. 30 days, you need a lease. Got it. So I suppose that makes sense. And I understand why he's been bouncing back and forth. Okay. Brooklyn says, how do we know he is the real? We don't know. That is the thing. We don't know. The people in the courtroom, we don't even know if those are his parents because, I don't know, something to do with being adopted. We don't know who this man is. That is the real issue here. We don't know. We don't know who the real Nicholas Kassotis is. That's actually, I just had Eminem pop in my mind, in my head. Well, the real Nicholas Kassotis, please stand up. We need somebody. We need something, right? Brooklyn says in courtroom. I don't know what you mean by that. Day 4. Yep, we're only 4 days in here, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Hold on, I need to make a note for myself. All right, Benji says I am, but I put the volume down when customers walk in, so you're good. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop cussing because I don't need. I'm gonna try my very best. I'm not gonna cuss no more for Benji, but when I'm upset, maybe. But I just that man does not know what he's
I
doing.
believe, about how he had moved previously,
Okay,
and some of his things I think were water damaged in a moving
that's what I said. That's what I said. With this trial, you don't know where it's taking you, but now we have something else: water damage.
pod, like a storage pod.
Okay, I'm now going to turn to 1.96.
Okay. Oosh, I might be here later than I'm supposed to. I'm meeting somebody for coffee in the morning. I might be back tomorrow. Yeah, I'm
Would
not
it be
gonna
fair to
stay
say
up
that
too
sometime
late.
in early November you were?
Yeah, I'm not gonna stay up too late. I'm just gonna have to come back tomorrow. That's what we're gonna do. Because I was gonna go past midnight, but I have to be up by 8. So yeah. All right, let's see. What is he saying again? So November 5th, he says, and anything, and okay, no, this is around 11:59. Okay, anyways, he says, and anything you can have shipped to the new place is something you don't need to pack, move, and unpack. That is true. That is actually very true. That is, he is sound. Okay, that is actually very true. So she goes on to say that is true. That's another urge to downsize. They're having a good time, laughing emojis. And she pretty much responded, within 2 minutes. So they're getting along. Kassotis then says nothing like having to move stuff to help decide if you really want it. I highly recommend putting 85% of your belongings in a pod for a year. That is defective and not actually watertight. If you want help downsizing, I cannot read the rest of that, but I think he's saying I do not actually recommend this. That is what I'm assuming. I cannot see the rest of that.
Talking about your move with him?
Yes.
Okay, and that's when he made the quip about his belongings?
Yes.
So I'm directing your attention to,
And they're laughing. They're having a good time. I know too much time lapsed here, though. It's about 7 minutes that lapsed. So I don't know if he had to entertain his real wife or if he had to talk to his in laws or if somebody. Hold on. Let me mute this. One moment. Sorry, parenting. My daughter was up until like 4 in the morning. I let her do that. I don't usually let her stay up, but tonight we do have to go to bed early because she's tagging along for coffee. All right, she drinks coffee. I don't drink coffee. All right, wait, where were we? Okay, so 7 minutes lapsed. Something must have happened. He got into something and he could not respond as quickly. Something happened.
Exhibit 1.96, the paragraph that states, I
Yeah,
highly
they're having a jolly good time. They're cracking up, laughing emojis. So okay.
recommend putting 85% of your belongings in a pod for a year that is defective and not actually watertight if you want help downsizing. Is that what you were referring to?
Yes.
And as a result of that, did you believe that he just didn't have a lot of things?
Um, I believed that some of his things had been damaged. I don't know that I had a real like image of how many things he had at that point,
Okay,
but that he had lost things. Yeah.
quite a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, those conversations and those tweets at the time, would it be fair to say that they were pretty innocuous? You didn't think very much about any of it, other than just banter.
Yeah, I'd say
No, he was reeling you in, girl.
from that first message in September through October, and you can even notice in October sometimes there's gaps in days to where like before I would respond, and probably even the first part of November, yeah, it felt very very light, and then it picked up frequency, and I'd say emotional like resonance. Yeah.
Okay. And at some point, did he talk to you about his work and moving and things of that nature?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to direct you to slide number 20. That for you would be 1.97.
Hold on. I need to read this because I know y'all ain't gonna read this stuff. Hold on. We need to get that part. First part says what? I think it says, "Oh gosh, I will give you the very abbreviated version." She must have asked him something. I don't know what she asked him. This date here, I cannot make out that date. Can't make it out. I'll leave it alone. Okay, come on.
Would it be
Okay. So very, very bad abusive upbringing. And this is the one thing about Kassotis, right? I was again, Callie and I were going back and forth today. The one thing, the folks in the courtroom, because according to Mindy's mom, the mother, father, and brother are in the courtroom. As far as we know, we don't know if those are his biological parents, if those are his adoptive parents, if he was ever adopted. We don't know any of that information. But I mean, here's the other part. So their child, whether it's an adopted kid or a biological kid, is on trial accused of a very heinous crime. Apart from that, though, if these are in fact his biological parents and he was never adopted, then it's kind of a strange, those are strange circumstances and strange testimony to have to sit through. So there's a lot going on. Brooklyn says, hold on. Watertight his experience doing that. I don't know, Brooklyn. I don't know. Brooklyn says, I think the woman you're asking about in the courtroom is family of Samantha. That makes sense. That could make sense. So, anyways, Kassotis goes on to talk about how he grew up in a very, very bad, abusive family. And again, for the family, we don't know if this is true or not, but this must be uncomfortable testimony. All right, let's move on. So, very, very bad, abusive upbringing, which switched to a lot of emotional abuse control. As I left home, little brother was a golden child. Okay, so we know he has a brother. We don't know if that's the older brother or if it's a younger brother we don't know. But in any event, the brother is being talked about here, being told how he was the golden child. I could do nothing right ever. I finally started therapy and setting some healthy boundaries, and they reacted extremely badly. At around the same time, what I thought were bank errors turned into very extensive identity theft issues. Twists and turns. Listen, twists and turns, okay? So, identity theft issues, which were traced back to my brother. When law enforcement got involved, things got very scary for a while in some very bad ways, which I don't know, I think that's triggered. Let's see if she's gonna
Fair to the,
zoom in.
some of these,
Yeah, I need you to zoom in just a little bit because I really cannot see. Okay, so which triggered two moves and is the reason why my mail still goes to Florida before coming to me. So he has mail going to Florida. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'd like to assume that's maybe where his parents live. Uh I'm gonna leave it alone. A little over 2 years ago, documents got turned up that caused me to be asked if there was a chance I wasn't ooh, biologically related to the people I thought were my parents. And I said no. And then I thought about it, and a lot of things suddenly made sense. So there was a whole thing, and I took a DNA test and waited months. And I'm not at all related to the people who raised me, which has raised a trillion questions, but gave me the opportunity to identify my actual parents in what has been the silver lining to all of this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Uh, all right. And I suppose this is also, as far as timeline, this is going to line up with him telling Mindy's parents that he's going to meet his biological parents. Odd stuff. All right, let's move on. Where was I? I don't know. This is okay. It's still messy, and the wheels of justice continue to turn very slowly, but I'm treating it as a bonus. I have very loving parents.
and
Okay.
very personal.
Yes.
Can you tell us
Go on.
what he told you about his upbringing?
He told me that he had a very horrible upbringing,
Mm.
that he was abused. Should I tell you just what's on this,
And again, maybe he was abused. We don't know that.
or what he told me
Just-
later in general?
I'm just referring to.
Just this, that he had a bad abusive upbringing, and that he found out late in life, like as an adult, that he had
I want to see the parents. I need to see the parents. Somebody need to pan to the parents. I need to see how they react to all of this.
adopted, and that his parents, who he thought were his parents, were not his actual, like, biological parents.
Oh, this is
Do you believe that?
Yes.
Wait, isn't this the mom though? I don't know.
Now, in the weeks coming up to him visiting you in December, were there communications?
Wait,
In
did
the
you read?
weeks coming up to him visiting you in December, were there communications?
Yes.
I'm going to turn your attention to slide.
Yeah, the whole, parents XYZ, that's for his story to that's for his story to line up, or at least the timing lines up with what he told Mindy's parents.
Exhibit 1.98.
Mm-hmm.
This is slide 22. Do you see where he references in the second paragraph?
Hold on. So Brooklyn says his mother's mouth in the courtroom popped open after he said that. I need to see. Let's go back because how do you react? How do you react to that information? It's just wow.
And that he found out late in life, like as an adult, that he had been adopted and that his parents, who he thought were his parents, were not his actual, like, biological parents.
Did you believe that?
Yes.
They're probably thinking this motherfucker. This is just wow. What on earth? This is a lot.
Now, in the weeks coming up to him visiting you in December, were there communications?
Yes.
I'm going to turn your attention to slide rather exhibit 1.98.
Mm-hmm.
This is slide 22. Do you see where he references in the second paragraph?
Hold on.
I'm trying to get a bit ahead on work.
Hold
so I
on,
can
hold on, hold on. We need to go to the top. I cannot make out what's up here. Can we go back a little bit?
This is slide 22.
No, I cannot make it out. Okay, yeah, that sounds like quite the week. I need to move this closer to me. I'm trying to get quite a bit ahead of the work. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get a bit ahead on work so I can spend the next few weeks traveling. I'll still be working, but like to have a little built-in cushion on projects when dealing with the vagaries of Wi-Fi on the road. Going to spend this weekend in Virginia, then New York, Bedford, Hudson Valley. Okay, he was out there. Okay, then on to New England until after Thanksgiving. Hold on, I'm thinking. As far as timing, until after Thanksgiving. Because Thanksgiving, this is when the in-laws travel and then they come back and the daughter's gone. So hopefully, or at least she was in the hospital. So hopefully going to spend a little time poking around and seeing how a few spots feel in, I think this is supposed to be terms, in terms of life there. Seems like a better use of my time than the 45 Zillow emails I wake up to every morning. Okay, sounds like he's in the market for a house. All right, so I enjoyed Cabinet of Curiosities. I suppose this is a book or something. The anthology format was a fun one for a series. You are, or no, it's saying, are you or were you working on an anthology film for one of your collections? I feel like you were. Sorry, I'm all questions today. My personal favorites are blah, 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 blah. So I do not know if this is Samantha's book or it's somebody else's book, or if they're reading a book together or they had discussions about a book. No idea. All right, come on.
You see where he references in the second paragraph, I'm trying to get a bit ahead on work so I can spend the next few weeks traveling. Did he indicate
I think this is actually vagaries.
to you exactly where he planned on going?
And was he making these plans with his wife, his in-laws? Was he just out with Rusty? What was going on?
You can read that to us if that makes it easier.
Let's see. He said, I'm trying to get a bit ahead on work so I can spend it on projects when dealing with Virginia. Then you spend a little time poking around at 45 Zillow
Two.
every morning.
So it was your understanding that in the weeks leading up to this email or text on November 8th that he was traveling?
That is correct. And this would have been far before the Missouri trip, he told me. And he told me, I don't know about like what he was doing in these places, but he did say that he met with one of his his biological father's lawyers during this time. I think was something he said.
So I guess
in
we'll
terms
take
of that
something.
trip.
Did he tell you why he was adopted?
So at this point, you didn't have any reason to believe that he was homebound and couldn't leave his residence, right?
They're writing a whole lot of stuff down. Y'all better be asking some goddamn real questions.
No.
Wait, what's the
That
question?
he was homebound and couldn't leave his residence, right?
Ah, that is a brilliant question. That is a really good question because I completely forgotten about security. I forgot that there's security. They're not allowed to move about without, oh, that is a good question. That is a really, really, really good question. Yeah. So that undermines the defense of Jim, who is it, Jim McIntyre or whoever it was? That's a brilliant question. So again, here it seems like he's able to move around. Okay, so because that was a really good question, we need to make a personal note for ourselves in order to help Doug with cross-examination.
I'm turning your attention to slide number 1.99.
Okay, this makes me wonder though. So when he gets with Samantha, did they still have to be under security or could they move freely? I don't know. Maybe we get into that.
Would it be fair to say that this is also in November?
Hold on, I'm writing. Hold on. Prosecutors. Question. I need to read these text messages. I'm just helping him with cross-examination a little bit here. Did not discuss security, all aspects of life. Worked for Jag. All right, I'm just writing some stuff down. Okay, let's read the text. Is she gonna zoom
Yes.
in?
Okay. And these were
No, she's not zooming in. So hold on. They're writing something. I don't know. The lawyer is just I don't know. Do something.
Would it be fair to say that this is also
I skipped that a little bit. Let's try and go back just a little bit. I missed it.
would it be fair to say that this is also
I didn't move too quickly. One more time. Let me try one more time. I guess I could slow it down, but I'm
would
not.
it be fair to say that this is also
Can't do it. Let's just go with what we have. Okay, so she said, I can barely see this. Kind of has been a rough week, albeit a productive one. I'm already in bed. I just sort of, I cannot make that out. I just sort of aimlessly, I think, browsing social media on my phone since I am too tired to do much else. I've been up since early. The book pre order announcement seemed to go well, so that's a plus. What have you been up to? Um, so she asks a real question. She says, is your name really Nick? I know you said you are using a fake name. All right, so that's November 10, 2022, 8:46 p.m. or something like that. He says, I am really Nick. Last name is Stark, not Morfox. A combination of two last names of meaningful people to me. Sure. November. How much time lapse? I cannot make up the timestamps. I'm just trying to see if there's a delay in responding. Then he goes on to say, I'm glad today went productive and the announcement got off to a good start, better than a bit unproductive day, trying to manage an, I cannot see that, organized packing process here, which I'm very bad at. And well, I think, no, that is will inevitably forget three things I'm forced to buy. And there is cracking up. All right. And then I'm the worst at packing for travel. Ha ha ha. I always want to fit everything into a single backpack. When do you leave? Okay, so November 10, I guess I was not expecting all these twists and turns. I should have kept a log or timeline running because if this is November 10, from my recollection, because yesterday I had to rewatch a bit of Mindy's mom's testimony. And um, from parts that I watched, because I was trying to watch the parts I skipped when we were on the live, there was something about them having to leave Frank the Fourth's residence. And apparently, Frank the Fourth actually had to get an eviction notice in order to get the security team. This is just strange. In order to get the security team to speed up the process to basically secure their next residence or stay. Uh, yeah. So I'm trying to figure out if these November 10 emails coincide with that timeline as far as him packing up.
So in November?
Yes.
Okay. And these were all leading up.
Hold on. Tomorrow afternoon, I am going to be on the road a little early and hopefully miss the traffic. I always say that I'm going to sit down and come up with a list of things I need to pack and just save it so I can print it out every time and have the basic things figured out. I actually thought about this because I tend to forget a whole bunch of stuff. When we went to Boston, I forgot to get my floss or pack my floss. That's the first time that has happened though, because I'm actually really good about that. I forgot my floss. And even this 5-star hotel, they did not have floss. Why don't you guys have floss? So yeah. Apparently he's never managed, all right?
To the time period.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder, around this time, were they moving somewhere? And this is just, I suppose, from a relationship or marriage standpoint, it's kind of heartbreaking to be not even heartbreaking. It's more of a betrayal to be in what you think is an I mean, if you're not in an exclusive relationship, it doesn't fucking matter because you're not in an exclusive relationship. But here, it sounds like they were in an exclusive marriage, and the husband on the side, he's just doing some other stuff, trying to form a connection with somebody else.
When he was coming to visit you.
And while you're supposed to be pregnant, you're supposed to have an undiagnosed heart condition and uncontrolled high blood pressure. Or was it diabetes? I don't remember. One of the two. So she goes on to say that I'm the worst at packing for travel. Ha ha ha. Okay, I read that already. I'm sorry. I don't know. She did something. Did she move up? I don't know. Okay, no, I think she moved down. I don't know. I missed something. Let's just move on.
Or, well, I should say, when you were developing a relationship.
Yes, at this time, he had never, we were not even talking about, we had not talked about a visit that I can remember. That
Okay.
didn't come out till December.
Okay. So on November 10th, that last paragraph, can you read that for us?
Tomorrow, so I had asked, when do you leave in the previous message? And he says, tomorrow afternoon, going to get on the road a little early to pack, never have managed.
So as far as you knew, on November 10th, he told you he was going to be going on a road trip November 11th of 2022.
Yes, that's correct.
And still at that point, he never told you that he was unable to leave his residence, correct?
No, he never said he was unable to leave any residence.
Okay. Now, during your relationship, you indicated that at some point you shifted to some phone communication. Is that
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Did you ever use something called Signal app?
We did not use the Signal app.
Oh, she was left
to
out the group
communicate.
chat.
Okay. Are you
Wow.
familiar with?
Okay. She was left out of the group chat, but that also explains a lot. So allegedly allegations, okay, if these things are true, it sounds like Nick had his wife and the in-laws fixated on the need for security and a Signal app and X, Y, and Z. Whereas when he's talking to Samantha, she does not have, or at least he does not have the same restrictions in communicating to her. Yeah, dang. So how do we cross-examine on that? I don't know. Let's think about it.
I am. Mhm.
Okay. But you didn't use that.
We didn't use it to communicate.
Yeah, so
no.
that just blows up that defense right there. I don't know. Let's think about it. Let's think about how we cross-examine on that issue.
And I didn't use it at that time, no.
What about Proton email?
I knew he used Proton email because I think I saw it on some of the emails. I did not use Proton email. I had actually not, I didn't even know about Proton email until I saw it like in one of his emails, like I can't remember what you call that, the @.com. Yeah.
Okay. But he didn't require you to use that with him?
No.
That's crazy.
Can you tell the jury, in late November, when you and he had just started talking, did anything happen to your vehicle?
Yes.
Tell the jury.
I would have objected that question because she's assuming facts, not in evidence. And this witness did not say anything about her vehicle or anything happening to her vehicle. So it's objectionable. Okay.
What happened?
I had a flat tire
Flat
in my
Okay.
car in November.
Okay. And did that
Now,
prove
what-
to be problematic in any way?
I mean, just as problematic as a flat tire, would be to anyone. I was, moving, and then it definitely was like a hassle, yeah.
Timing not so convenient?
Yeah, and I'm very bad with cars, so
Okay.
car trouble stresses me out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did Mr. Stark offer to assist in any way?
He did.
What did he do?
He offered, and keep
No.
in mind, we had never met, and he offered like via messages, because we were talking on WhatsApp at that time. He offered to fix the flat.
Okay, so WhatsApp, we have a good avenue for cross-examination. Okay? So they are communicating via WhatsApp. On cross-examination, you want to not even figure out, your client should be giving you this information. Okay? So WhatsApp is to some extent similar to Signal. Told you guys before, I don't text, it's not my thing. I use WhatsApp. Okay? So Doug's role during cross-examination is to pretty much elicit testimony that Signal, WhatsApp work the same way. Okay?
He had said that he could have my car towed to a repair shop and have the flat tire fixed.
And did he do that for you?
He did, and I was very surprised.
Okay.
Why were you surprised if you gave him the information? You gave him, hello, you must have given him your location as well.
Yes.
At that point, I believe your first communication was October 18th of 2022. Be fair to say that that was approximately to 4 weeks later?
Our first communication was September
My apologies.
2022.
Mhm.
And then I'm sorry, what was the second half of that?
How long had you known him before he had your tire
About 2
fixed?
months.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that I knew him at that time. I'd been messaging him online for, it would have been a month and a half to 2 months, somewhere in that range.
What did
Yeah.
he have done for your car?
Okay, so he told me he was only going to fix the flat tire at the repair shop. When I got to the repair shop, my friend took me to pick up my car, I was very surprised because the clerk at the repair shop, he said that Nick had paid for 4 new tires and 2 new bulbs on the front headlights. I'm not 100% certain that's what it was called.
Hold on, I
He
need to
did
go
some
back.
some kind of repair or something to the front headlights. I think it was new bulbs. Yeah.
Did you determine how much that cost?
Hold on, I need to
It was
go
a
back. Sorry, I got
had
distracted.
paid me to pick up their shop. Okay, somewhere in the. I mean, I wouldn't even say that I knew him at that time. I'd been messaging him online for, it would have been a month and a half to 2 months, somewhere in that range.
What did
Yeah.
he have done for your car?
Okay, so he told me he was only going to fix the flat tire at the repair shop. When I got to the repair shop, my friend took me to pick up my car, I was very surprised because the clerk at the repair shop, he said that Nick had paid for 4 new tires
Wow.
and 2 new bulbs on the front headlights. I'm not 100% certain that's what it was called.
Okay, I have a question. This is just, the investigative part of my brain that's going off. Initially, I was going to say I'll gladly take 4 tires, like give me snow-studded tires. Alexa, didn't I just disconnect you? Alexa, stop. I literally just disconnected her, so why is she still going off? In any event, here's what I'm thinking. So,
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexis, girl, stop. So, Nick pays for the tires, right? She being Samantha would have received a receipt um, when she picked up a vehicle. Who was this receipt made out to? Is it made out to Nick, or is it made out to Samantha? If it's made out to Nick, what's the last name on this receipt? Is it Kassotis or is it Stark?
But he did some kind of repair or something to the front headlights. I think it was new bulbs. Yeah,
Did you determine how much that cost?
it was a big bill. I mean, what I would consider big. It was like, I think it was $600 and something in that range. Yeah.
Was that concerning to you?
Yes.
What did you do as a result?
I felt a mix of feelings. I felt grateful as you do when somebody does something kind for you, but it also felt like a lot, and it already felt like a lot just to have somebody fix your my tire for me, and then the surprise of that it was 4 new tires and then like a bulb change or something. It was just a lot. It was a lot to the point that the clerk at the car shop, he said something like, "Is that your husband or is that your boyfriend? He is so nice." And I said, "No." I said, "He's
I
just
suppose the clerk put it into motion. She said, "You need to not wife. You need to husband that man." Okay.
an acquaintance, Yeah.
Did you have a conversation with him about that? Boundaries?
I first talked to some friends about it just to get their opinion because it was such a big gift. And then I did talk to him and I said, that was too much. That was a lot. You said it was going to be 1 tire, then you did 4. That's a lot.
Okay. Pause. Let's pause a little bit here. We're thinking about cross-examination. Okay. So these folks were in a relationship at some point. They were in a relationship. In order for Nick to have done this, unless here's the thing, right? I have a lot of questions popping in my head right now. So November, September, October, November. During cross-examination, pretty much established that Samantha was, going through a divorce. Established because, again, these folks would have had some type of discussions unless they really did not talk, these folks being Samantha and Nick. I would like to believe that when you are in a relationship, or at least when you're planning some type of marriage, and it sounds like, not even sounds like, these folks did get married, okay? There would have been a discussion about finances at some point. So on cross-examination, I would establish that I'd establish whatever Samantha's finances were at the time, okay? Because if I remember from her testimony correctly, she testified that she was going through a divorce, or she had filed for divorce. She had moved from the marital home, and it sounds like she was leasing, because she said that the landlord would not allow dogs at the residence. I don't know if she was leasing an apartment, a townhouse, an entire house, or a single family home. Does not really matter. But the reality of, here's the other thing we know. The other thing we know is that she had announced, or at least on Twitter, she had put up a post that she was selling her books, or they were bundled or something, some type of discount, because she was going through a divorce. So based on that, whether she bundles the books or not, a divorce does take a financial toll on the parties, because you're going from depending on how you handle your finances, but you're going essentially from a 2 income household to a 1 income household. And that does put a strain on your finances. So that is the angle you take. The angle you take on cross-examination, you flush that information out. And then on cross-examination, you pretty much establish that this was, some type of financial relief for you. It is something that Nick did for you that actually helped you out. That's how you cross-examine on that issue, as opposed to just letting it be this weird thing that Nick did that was not appreciated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in response to that conversation, well, let me be clear. Do you remember when you had that problem with your tire?
It was November of 2022. I do not remember the exact date.
Okay. Was it beginning of November, end of November, if you recall?
I think it was the last half of November of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
And after you had the conversation with him about boundaries and too much, what did he do?
He had this sort of like, he apologized, he kind of played it off, and he said this endearing thing kind of to where he's just like, I'm so sorry, you're right, that was an odd gift, most guys, I've just been he said something like, I've been out of practice for a while, and here I am, like, thinking that he's been grieving for
I mean,
2 years.
and she's so Doug, she's giving you how to cross-examine on this issue. Okay, make it so that it's not that weird or odd.
Years. And he's, I've just been out of practice, I haven't dated. He's like, I just wanted to do something nice for you. He's like, but yeah, you're right. Tires. He's like, come on, like, what guy gives a girl tires? He's like, it should have been flowers, right? Or something. And I said, yeah, flowers would have been more appropriate.
Fuck that shit.
than
Give me the goddamn tires.
And then
There's
it
no
kind
set
of
of
became
tires.
like a little, it's like that conversation changed it from something that felt alarming at first to something that felt like, oh, okay, like he hasn't been dating for a while, and he went overboard, you know what I mean? He must like me, and he went a little overboard in showing that. And it then became a little bit of an in joke throughout our relationship. He'd be like, oh, the tires, yeah, like what kind of guy gives a girl he's dating tires? That was so stupid of me, like that kind of thing he used to say. Yeah.
Did he subsequently give you flowers the following week?
Yes, about a week later, he had a very nice bouquet of flowers, like hand delivered to me, my house. For, like,
You gave the man your address? Come on now.
yeah,
Was that still in late November?
I believe so. If it wasn't late November, then it would have been probably the first week in December. But I think it was about a week after that, the tire repair.
Hmm.
Yeah.
At some point, did you and Mr. Stark get engaged?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall when that
I'm
was?
engaged.
It was April. Or no, I'm sorry, we got engaged. The reason I said April, we got married in April. We got engaged in February of 2023.
Do you remember the date?
Hold on.
I don't.
So you got divorced, or you're going through a divorce around September. This is what Kelly was talking about as far as timing, or how rushed this relationship was. So September 1st, communications. December, you meet this man. January, February, and you're engaged. I don't know.
Okay.
That's the thing, though. Some people just enjoy being married and engaged, like Lori Vallow Daybell. Some people just, that's their thing, like being married.
I want to forget the date. I don't remember.
Wait, what?
We got married in April. We got engaged in February of 2023.
Do you remember the date?
I don't.
Okay.
I want to forget the date. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's February.
Okay. So at some point in February of 2023, you get engaged. And then did you ultimately apply to get married?
Yes.
Can you tell us prior to getting
How'd
married, did
you
have to
get
fill out-
engaged though? I need to know all that information. Did I suppose he proposed? Where was the proposal? Um, I don't know. I don't know. Were there discussions about marriage? When did those happen?
paperwork for that?
Yes, he filled out the paperwork. And I think it was an online application.
Okay. And as a result, at this time, I'm going to show her 1.92. Do you recognize that document?
Yes.
What is that?
This is the marriage license application that was submitted for our marriage.
Okay. And do you recognize that to
I know.
be?
Did Kassotis have a drinking problem? And again, I'm just thinking about that in line of cross-examination, because this is the marriage license. I tuned into this portion of the testimony when I was at work on Friday. And my recollection is that Kassotis pretty much, just deleted his first wife. He claimed to only have one prior marriage and not two. So how do you explain that, your client is lying on documents, on legal documents? I don't know if he had a drinking problem, a drug problem, you could cross-examine on that, get that on the record to explain some of this behavior. But if he's a sober guy, then I don't know. Hmm.
Just a photocopy of the original.
Yes.
At this time, I would seek to introduce I believe is that 92?
It's admitted.
Can we please publish that? Thank you. And does that reference your names at the top of that?
Yes.
And was it required to indicate how many marriages this was for you?
Yes.
And does it indicate how many it was for Mr. Stark?
Yes.
And what was that?
He wrote that it was his second.
Did he indicate how his last marriage ended?
Yes.
And how was that?
Death,
And did he give a date of her death?
December 1st, 2020.
Okay.
And this was issued when?
April 13th, 2023.
Did it reference the names of his parents?
Yes, this is who he said were
Okay,
his
who are they?
biological parents. Edward Williams as his father, living in the UK.
Oh, so that's the UK issue. I need somebody to pan the camera on the parents. Okay. Edward Williams.
And Susan Fox, living in California,
Okay, so more Fox, is that where it comes from? Where did
in the UK. And Susan Fox, living in California, as his mother.
Did you understand that to be who he claimed were which parents, the adopted or the biological?
Biological parents that he had connected with and found out, later in life, as an adult.
Okay.
That's who I thought they were.
Does this also reflect the date that it was initially filed?
Yes, April 10th, 2023.
And did both you and Mr. Stark have to sign that document?
Yes.
And did you?
Yes.
Those are both of your signatures?
Yes.
Okay.
hold on. Okay.
And that, of course, is your name also at the top, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Wow.
Now, did you subsequently actually get married?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that was also sometime in April?
Yes, that was in April 2023, I believe, late April.
Okay. And Prior to getting married, did you and Mr. Stark discuss your living arrangements? What
Yes.
you were going to do after you got married?
Yes.
Okay. What was the plan?
He was going to move to PA and he wanted to buy a house. And then he said that we would both move in.
I don't know. Did security clear this home where I don't know?
Live in that house together. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And as a result of that, who was going to pay for the house?
Nick Stark.
Okay. Did he indicate to you whether he was financially in a position to be able to afford the house without your assistance?
Yeah,
Dollar.
that over time, but yes, yes, he said he was able to do that.
Okay, so he was going to be
I
the one.
suppose that's why Samantha fell for this man as well, because most women want men that will take care of them financially and not folks that they have to, 50-50 with. So
buying
was
it.
that
Correct.
Okay. Was he responsible then for the arrangements for the finances?
Yes.
Okay. So can you tell the jury, did you in fact start looking for houses together?
Yes,
that's crazy.
Did you find any?
we did. At first, we were looking at houses for him because he said he was going to move to PA. And so it was just a house for him. And then as our relationship progressed, we started looking together. And we did. We found several that we liked, and then we like landed on one, so to speak, or decided.
A girl thought I'm with a lawyer. I'm with the VP. I forgot what he does. The VP of what was it? The VP of APIS. Was that it? I don't know. Of something limited.
Chose one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did that ultimately result in an offer, acceptance, and a closing?
It resulted in an offer. He made an offer. I believe the offer was accepted.
Okay.
And if I'm thinking about it, it's because I'm not like real estate. I've never bought a house before. And I think he had put like a deposit or whatever, earnest money, whatever it's called in real estate. Yeah.
For a down payment?
And was there an actual closing date scheduled?
Yes.
Okay. So do you
I know.
know?
I have even more questions. I have real questions, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But I have real questions because, again, how do we know an offer was in fact put in? How do we know the offer was accepted? How do we know that he put down a down payment? I don't know any of that, and I don't know that we can have actual confirmation of that.
When that was?
Yes.
When was that?
March 20th, 2023.
And why do you remember that date specifically?
It was a traumatic day.
Another twist. That's what I'm aware of.
We were supposed to close that day. And in the morning, I was still in bed. We were staying together at an Airbnb in Pennsylvania. I was still in bed, and he woke me up, and he said he looked like he had already been up for a bit, totally dressed,
Plotting.
and he said that he was going to go run some errands and pick up the check for the closing, the cashier's check, and that he would be back before closing.
Do you remember when the closing was supposed to be?
I think it was around noon, but I'm not positive. I don't remember the exact hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sometime during the day?
Yep, sometime during the day.
And she's a good witness. I mean, it's not like Doug's going to cross-examine her, but she's a good witness because when she does not remember, she pretty much just says she doesn't remember as opposed to making up answers.
And he left to go get the check.
Yes.
Was he supposed to come back to the house?
Yes, he was. Yes,
Okay.
before closing. Yeah.
Did he have a car at that time?
Yes.
Do you know what type of car it was?
I believe it was, I could definitely recognize it if I saw it. I believe it was a Ford. It was kind of like an SUV, a larger SUV. I want to say it was a Ford Explorer.
Okay.
And I believe it was green.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at that point, he left to go pick up the check.
Yes.
And was supposed to come home?
Yes.
Did he come home in timely fashion?
No.
What happened?
He wasn't home when I thought, he probably should have been. Like, it was getting closer and closer to the closing time. And so I started texting him like on WhatsApp, like, hey, are you okay? Is
You text
everything
me on WhatsApp?
okay? Because it felt unusual. And then I started calling him and I wasn't getting through to him. It was either going like,
Hold on. I need
right
to go back. I got a little
he probably
distracted.
should have been. He wasn't.
Time is-
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And at that
Okay,
point,
I need
he left
10 more
to go
minutes.
pick up the check.
10 more minutes. I really
Yes.
should be, trying to go to bed, but this case has a chokehold on me. I cannot find. I'm trying to think of a case that really had a chokehold on me. The February case of that kid out of Florida, that was an interesting one too. But this case, man, this is a movie.
It was kind of like an SUV, a larger SUV. I want to say it was a Ford Explorer.
Okay.
And I believe it was green.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at that point, he left to go pick up the check
Yes.
and was supposed to come home.
Yes.
Did he come home in timely fashion?
No.
What happened?
He wasn't. He wasn't home when I thought he probably should have been. Like it was getting closer and closer to the closing time. And so I started texting him like on WhatsApp, like, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? Because it felt unusual. And then I started calling him and I wasn't getting through to him. It was either going like right to voicemail or just like clicking off. The connection was clicking off. And then I got a very alarming text message from him.
Okay.
And it said, or WhatsApp message, same thing. It said, my car buddy, because I think autocorrect, I just remember this text. It said, my car buddy into flames.
Oh,
And of
so
course, like
burst.
reading that message, I'm like,
My car
buddy
burst into flames.
burst, like the
Listen, Nick has, I don't know, more lives than a cat or something. This man, or maybe now that I think about it, would this then would this have been the date when no, this is March though. When were the in-laws informed that Nick had died? Was that February of 23 or was that March of 23? Because this man went from dying to resurrecting to being involved in some type of final destination incident where his vehicle bursts into flames. So it's just I don't know. So the recall defense is falling apart here. And it's falling apart because now it appears that Nick's vehicle had to burst into flames in order for them to not close on the house. So how do we steer that on cross examination? Let me think about it. Let me think about how to attack.
autocorrect. And I was just, that's such a strange.
Where was he when the vehicle burst into flames? Was he in the vehicle? Was he outside the vehicle? Do we have surveillance? What's going on?
To ever receive. But so then I'm like calling him frantically and I didn't get through to him. I got through to, or I might've gotten through to him for a second and then he like handed the phone off, but then I talked to a paramedic or an EMT, some kind of like medical.
The twist. Who is this individual? Has this been verified?
Professional.
Did it hire an actor?
Yes, correct.
Okay. At that point, you said that he had been on his way to the bank. Is that right?
That's what he told. He said he had to run like some errands and also pick up the cashier's check or registered check from the bank, from Citizens Bank. Yeah.
Did you know how much the check was for?
I do not remember the exact amount, but I can tell you it was something like, it was a large amount. It was $800,000, I want to say, or 850.
What, $800,000? Were you guys buying a house cash, no more? Dang, it sounds like they are looking at some real homes, okay? They are looking at some real homes, not regular people stuff.
It was a very large amount of money. Yeah. Yeah.
So is your understanding that he was
I know
picking up the
something's going on with this lady over here.
check and that he had been involved in a car fire of some sort.
Car accident is what I was thinking at
You
that
thought
time.
car accident, okay?
You know, because even reading I was like, I couldn't really fathom what had actually happened. You know,
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Listen, she might be a writer, but that girl could not. She could not have written this. Mm-mm. Brooklyn said he was a lucky man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so Brooklyn says April 2023 is when Minnie's mom was approached in her office by FBI. 50,000 deposit, but he was never in contract. Why on earth would he give up? Where was he getting money from? That's the other question.
but yes, some kind of car incident.
Did you know if the car was new?
I think it was pretty new. I don't think it was an old car.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at that point, did he go to the hospital?
So that's something.
Did you go meet this man? I have so many questions.
I asked the EMT or the paramedic, and I said, "Is he going to the hospital? Like, you know, like what hospital can I meet him at? Those kinds of things." And she said he doesn't want to go to the hospital.
He's asking the right questions because Mindy's parents weren't even asking about hospital EXYZ. She's asking the right questions. Let's see if she gets the answers.
And I said, "But are you like, should he? Is he okay?" You know, like I was asking like those kind of caring, concern questions. And I still didn't really grasp. I didn't grasp what had happened to the car or how like severe it was, because I remember asking the paramedic or the EMT. I said, "Can you make sure, you know, he gets all of his things out of the car?" And she kind of, I don't want to say chuckled. It wasn't like she was amused, but she was just like, "I can try, but I don't think there's anything left in that car." And hearing that, I still was like a little bit confused. You know, I didn't understand the scope. And then, you know, I asked, you know, "Are you sure he's okay to not go to the hospital?" And she said, "Well, he doesn't want to go. Like, we can't, you know, yeah, he's going to
Put him on the
he
gurney.
just wants to go back to you or whatever, or home, you know."
When he got home, did you take him to the hospital?
How did he get home?
Yes, I insisted on taking him to the hospital. I was concerned about him.
Why?
Well, when he walked through the door of the Airbnb, he was like crying a little. He was shaking. He had some he looked a little burned, like on his face.
Burned?
He was missing, I want to say like half an eyebrow.
Oh my.
Like he had, yeah.
Okay. As a result, I'm going to show you 1.91.
I don't know. Somebody's amused for sure. She's the one that keeps chuckling. That might be Samantha's mom. That's what I'm thinking. She looks a little like Samantha. She's out there chuckling and everything about, you know, this man missing an eyebrow. It's just, this case has too many turns, too many twists. I cannot keep up. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. As a result, I'm going to show you 1.91.
What's that?
Do you recognize what's depicted in this photograph?
I don't see much of a reaction from him. I don't see, you know, flush face, none of that.
Yes.
What is that?
That would be his medical bracelet, like the
Okay,
bracelets
took
you put
them
on
into
you
the hospital.
at hospitals, and that was from his when I took him to the hospital. Yeah.
Okay. And at this time, Your Honor, I would like to introduce that exhibit 1.91.
I want to see it.
All right, it's admitted without objection.
I'm going to publish it. Did that reflect the admission date on it right there?
Yes. Or yes, March 20th, 2023. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. That was the day of the closing as well?
Yes, it was.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
And
So on the day of the closing, when they're supposed to be, you know, I guess securing their forever home, because it sounds like it was a home over $800,000. Or coincidentally, on that same day, this man's vehicle burst into flames and gone is the check, and they can no longer close.
at that point, do you know what happened with respect to the car? In terms of the insurance? How did that go?
I still don't. Oh, you mean like the insurance? I don't know. I still don't know what happened really. We went to the hospital, and then I had asked him, did you call insurance? And he said no. And I'm thinking he's in shock. And so I, encouraged him to do so. I said, well, you should report that, to your insurance company that you had an accident or a fire or whatever it was. And so I believe he did that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But initially it was your impression that he had not.
Correct. He was acting, I thought he was in shock because he wasn't doing the things that I had always been told to do if you have a car accident. And that was strange for him because he was usually such a intelligent, put together person. Like it just seemed odd. Like photos. I had asked him a day or two after the fire, I said, did you take any photos of your car? The damage. And he said, no. And he said, do you think I should? And I said, I remember specifically saying this to him. I said, Nick, you're a lawyer. I said, what would you advise a client to do?
You're a lawyer?
And he said, oh yeah, I guess you're right. I'll go take photos. And so then he went and took photos, and it was
I know. I think from here on out, anybody that gets into a relationship with anybody that's claiming to be a lawyer, you need to ask for that bar license. Okay? Ask for the bar license. Ask to see, ask to see their diplomas. Ask to see photos from commencement. Do something, because I have real questions about. We have real questions about Nick, though, because we don't really know who Nick is. Brooklyn says, I don't think Doug knew all the details before trial, just the basics. What do you mean? Why wouldn't he know all the details? That is your goddamn client. He better give you all the goddamn information. And even then, I don't know what other information he has all the discovery in this case. If he doesn't have all the discovery, that's a real problem. He's supposed to have all the discovery in the case. So that's why I should have been prepared for cross-examination. Brooklyn says he has no paralegal helping him. The defendant does a lot of note-taking for Doug. Brooklyn, you are making excuses for Doug, okay? Doug works for a law firm. We've looked up the law firm before. Let's just look him up again. That's no excuse. He was not given this case the night before. There's no excuse. And what do you mean? When I worked as a public defender, even when I worked as a prosecutor, I did not have a paralegal helping me out. I did everything from scratch. Even when you work in a public defender's office, the paralegals, if you have paralegals or legal assistants, those are worn thin. You don't get the assistance of a paralegal or a legal assistant on every case. The one case, there's one office that I actually worked in. Oh, they were well resourced. In that one office, there were investigators, a number of investigators. And even then you had to fill out a form, and they had a whole process in order for them to investigate a specific issue. But even then, you don't have paralegals and assistants on all cases. Right now, I am in private practice. I do most of the work myself. You're making excuses for Doug, Brooklyn. That's what you're doing. I forgot. Oh, we're looking up Doug Weinstein. That doesn't really matter. Let's move on.
photos that he showed me that I finally realized the extent of the damage to this car, and I was horrified.
Okay.
Did you see the photographs yourself?
Yes.
Oh,
How bad was
you
the car?
horrified.
As bad as you could possibly imagine. There was nothing, it was just a frame, it looked like, of the car left, like a metal frame.
There was nothing left of the car. But
Yes, and then it made sense with the paramedic, her reaction, when I had asked to get his things out of the car.
After the incident with the car, did you follow through? Because that happened, you said March 20th of 23.
Yes.
Did you follow through with your plans to get married?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she still got
and
married.
That's when we showed you the marriage license. Is that correct? Or the application?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Did you know a woman by the name of Heather Thomas? Had he ever mentioned a
No.
woman by that name?
He mentioned he had
Heather
had a
Thomas?
girlfriend named Heather. He said it was just a girlfriend. He said she had wanted to marry him and he did not want to, and they
Dang.
broke up, and that it was a messy breakup. That's what he had said.
Okay.
Never told you that was his wife.
No,
Never told
That's
you that
crazy.
he had divorced her.
no,
Did you know if he owed her any money?
no. He told me he was debt free. He told me he owed nobody any.
Oh no, this is the time when you pull up, what is that, Credit Karma? I need you to log in. I need you to log into your Credit Karma in front of me. I don't want no screenshot. I want nothing. I need you to log in right here, right now. Log into Credit Karma. Let's figure out everything you have on there. Log into your bank account. Let's see what you have going on. That's crazy. Dang, this man convinced these people.
He said he didn't know anything.
That's correct. He said he was completely debt free.
Maybe he was. I don't know.
During your relationship
Depends
with
on how you
him,
define
did
debt.
you discuss having children, the two of you?
Yes,
Okay.
Did that seem important to him?
very much so. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And at that point, did you make any arrangements to try and get pregnant?
Yes, around the time we got married. Yep.
Can you
He's
tell the
lucky.
jury what you did?
I went to a
She's freaking lucky that I suppose her, whatever it is they're trying to do was not successful.
preconception appointment.
Otherwise, she'd be out here trying to lie to the kid about where daddy is.
At my with a certified midwife at my OB office. Yep.
Okay. So that was right around what point in time?
Easy.
Can you
Right
tell-
around the date of our marriage. Yep.
Okay. So that was right away.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, you've testified that you had no idea that Mr. Kassotis had a first wife, no less a second wife, correct?
That's correct.
And
Or that he didn't have. I testified that he didn't have. What do you mean by that?
let me
Thomas, whatever
clarify
her name
that.
is.
It was your testimony that you didn't know that his wife was alive when he
Oh
first met
no,
you.
yeah, no, I did not know that.
And at this point, you didn't know either that there was potentially a first wife named Heather Thomas.
Right, that's what I thought you were. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't know he had a wife before.
Okay. Can you tell us how you came to learn of those things?
I came to learn of those things through agent over the course of several conversations with Agent Tracy Sands of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation after Nick was arrested.
That's
Do you
crazy.
see Agent Sands here today?
I do.
Can you point him out for us?
He's right there next to you. Yep, in the middle. Yeah.
The record can so reflect on it.
Mm.
And can you tell us, how did it make you feel learning that he had not only the first wife who had passed, but the second wife from before her?
I don't think.
I know those are not very
After
clear questions, but
how I felt, but I felt if I had to choose some words, I'd say horrified.
yeah, she thought she was an author. That girl thought she was an author, but Nick was writing allegedly. Okay.
Shocked.
Mm.
Traumatized,
Yeah, that is
violated,
traumatic.
deceived.
What did you do?
In the days that followed his arrest, I contacted Agent Sands multiple times. Tried to, after learning that, I tried to be as helpful as I could be because I was horrified.
Right.
And so in the days that followed, I took pictures of all the belongings that he had in the Airbnb and sent the photos to Agent Sands and asked if they needed anything of his belongings.
Mhm.
And they requested some of those, and I had them shipped to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. And then I also, like his laptops, his phones.
Oh,
And when I say laptops and phones, because he had one for work, one for personal. And then I also started
you snoop
looking messages, emails, anything that I thought
out of
the
snoop.
Georgia Bureau of Investigation might want to see. It was just, I was still in shock, but I knew that.
Brooklyn, I'm a real lawyer. Okay. I'm a real lawyer. I'm a trial lawyer. I know what it takes to take a case to trial. Doug Weinstein does not know what the fuck he's doing. It's that simple. Okay. People have worked with less resources. For cross examination, you don't need no extra money, resources. You need actual trial skills. You need to be a real lawyer. Brooklyn said, yeah, have a prenuptial for sure. For sure. Brooklyn says only way Nicholas gets off this case scot-free is playing insanity. Insanity does not get you off the case. Okay. Yeah. Samantha, I just don't know.
I wanted to be helpful because what I was hearing was so horrifying and I had no idea.
You're not an author.
I was trying to be
Nick is the real author.
I was trying to be as helpful in those immediate days as I could be.
What did you do about your marriage?
I don't know.
I wanted it annulled because I felt like the marriage and everything in the marriage was not consensual because of his fraud, and I wanted it annulled. And annulment in Pennsylvania is very difficult. It's very, very rigid about the requirements to get an annulment. It has to be fraud, or like some very specific other things. So it was very hard to get a lawyer who would actually even pursue it, but I did get one, and we went
That
to.
is so crazy to me. I just realized that Doug Weinstein does not object. So why are you not objecting? Do you not know the rules of evidence?
For an annulment.
I would have been objecting on this whole talk about fraud. You can talk about what happened to the marriage. I don't know about, getting into
And a
the
divorce at the same
details.
time in case the annulment wouldn't go through. There are not a lot of annulments in Pennsylvania, to my understanding.
Yeah, that man has not objected. What is he doing? What are you being paid for?
Wait several months before we could go to a hearing, and we went to a hearing at a court of common pleas in Pennsylvania. And
did you get an annulment?
And the judge, yes, the judge in Pennsylvania granted my annulment on the basis of his fraud. And so that was that's very rare in Pennsylvania that they do that. So the marriage was declared null and void because he committed fraud against me.
Do you know whatever happened to the house that you were supposed to
This
buy?
is a lot. Like the parents, this is too much.
I have no idea.
Did you ever buy it?
No.
Did you ever move into a house that he purchased?
No.
Did you ever see that check that was supposed to be picked up?
No, he said the check burned in the car fire.
That's crazy.
The
twists
check.
and turns.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
The twists and turns.
Weinstein cross-examination.
Mm.
Good morning, Ms. Klesser. I'm Doug Weinstein. I represent Nick Kassotis. I just have a
Is
question
he going to say, I'm sorry for your loss?
for you about the down payment on the home. Do you recall Nick Kassotis?
Sir, this woman testified to a lot that implicates your, what is this? Your client that is on the hook. He is being charged with dismembering his second wife. And you have one question, and the question is about a home. Come on now. Come on now. Listen, anybody that has worked for a public defender's office, anybody that is a public defender, I think even a second year attorney at a public defender's office can do a better job than what we're seeing from Doug Weinstein here.
I'm Doug Weinstein. I represent Nick Kassotis. I just have a question for you about the
You're goddamn sitting the whole time. What were you? I mean, you weren't taking any notes, but did your client? No, this is just. I have. Wow. I have never seen an attorney this incompetent. This man, he's not qualified. He is not qualified. Um, he's not qualified to represent criminal defendants. I'm sorry.
down payment on the home. Do you recall Nick Kassotis putting a $50,000 down payment on that house?
He said he did, yes.
He said he did. And that's what you want to focus on. Get a grip.
Okay. I have no further
You-
questions.
What the hell? Listen, Doug Weinstein, very soon, if Doug Weinstein keeps taking on these cases, he is going to end up in serious trouble with the bar. Serious trouble because this is ineffective assistance of counsel. Literally, while this witness was on the stand here, I don't know a damn thing about this case apart from what we've seen here. I have zero discovery. I don't know the nitty gritties of you know this case. Doug Weinstein could have gone on and elicited favorable information to his client about the substantive damage to this vehicle. Instead, he's asking about a check. He's asking if if he made a deposit, and she did not actually see an actual check. She just went by his word. That man needs to get off this case. He should not take another criminal case again. Not a single one. I'm going to start a petition. He should not be assigned any more cases. Does not know what the hell he's doing. Definitely helping the prosecution. And I'm not going to say that he is part of the reason why these folks are going to get convicted, because he just does not know what the hell he's doing. All right, folks, I need to go. It's almost midnight. I am meeting some folks for coffee, and I'm a big girl. I'm doing big girl things in the morning. I still have to get to Nick's testimony. Benji said, sheesh. Like, that man cannot cross examine. That man has no business representing a criminal defendant. Even Lori Vallow Daybell had better cross examination than that. That is, he needs to go back. I don't know if he did tax law, whatever the hell it is he did before. He needs to get back to that. He's not qualified to be in a trial court. He's not qualified to represent criminal defendants. Benji, I need to go because this man's giving me high blood pressure. All right, so let's reconvene tomorrow. For tomorrow, I don't have a real time. It's probably going to be much later as well, because I would like to get into who's this person? Agent Sands. I would like to get into Agent Sands, but I'm really interested in finding out what Nick told the agent, because I want to be able to, see where the inconsistencies are. So let's see. What are the people saying? Somebody said it takes a special breed to know you're guilty. Thanks to discovery, what crazy, embarrassing evidence will come out of trial, and you have no chance at all of being acquitted. Yet you take it to trial. That just blows my mind. I don't know that I don't agree with that position, because I think people should take things to trial, but they definitely need a real lawyer. Somebody said the jury shouldn't take too long with this one. Let's see. Okay, so apparently there's a friend that testified, did not watch the friend. Apparently, how bizarre, the friend learned about her death through a friend. You'd think the parents would have contacted them or put an announcement in the newspaper. Hold awake. Why weren't they going after the husband about these details? Something is wrong with all these people. Apparently, something is wrong with all these people. Apparently, yes, Nicholas told the parents their daughter was dead and they didn't seem the least bit curious about. Yeah, that was just I don't know. We're going to the goddamn hospital. I don't care what you're doing. We're going. Uh, somebody said that, I'm not gonna get into that. All right, they're calling him names. We're not going into that. Somebody said, so is Jim McIntyre the alter ego of Nicholas K? Somebody said, yep, 100%. Ironically, his third wife has more emotions about all of it than the victim's parents. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that. He has told so many lies. He can't even remember what he said. He's making it up as he goes. It takes him and 5 minutes to get out a sentence. That's why we need to listen to his testimony. We need to listen to his testimony. Again, tomorrow, I really don't know what time I will be live. Hopefully I can be up here around 7. If I don't go live tomorrow, because I have a lot going on. I have to do that. I have to go there. I have to, yeah. So if I don't make it up here tomorrow, I will put out a post. Okay. But other than that, Monday is for sure. Monday's for sure. Probably start around 8:30 p.m. We need to get to the bottom of this. This trial has a chokehold on me. This Nick Kassotis, I've not seen anything like. I've seen elaborate stories before, but this story is just oof. It's it's a lot going on. All right, folks. So Benji, Brooklyn, shout out to you guys. Brooklyn's gone because he's tired of me talking about his friend Doug Weinstein. So a shout out to the replay crew, Callie, everybody else that's been tuning in. Let us reconvene. I really want to say tomorrow. Tomorrow might be a bit tricky though, because it's Sunday and that's when I get myself in order. If I do go live tomorrow, it's going to be around 9 p.m. Eastern time. If I cannot make it up here, then we reconvene on Monday. Okay. All right, Benji, enjoy the rest of your shift and have a good, it's still Saturday for you. So have a good Saturday. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.